Call the Owatonna City Council meeting to order for April 21st, 2015, and may we have roll call.
Councilmember Rainey.
Here.
Svenby.
Here.
Dotson.
Here.
Okerberg.
Here.
Schultz. Here. Burbank.
Here.
Abraham.
Here.
And Mayor Kuntz.
Here.
We have all 7 of the council and the mayor present.
Thank you. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight, and with that, we'll look for, there's no changes to the agenda, so we'll look for approval of the agenda as presented.
Motion to approve as presented.
We have a motion by Brent Svenby to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
I'll go with Greg Schultz on the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Moving down to Mayor, and we have a proclamation for you tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Les. On the 24th of April, Arbor Day is coming up, so we'll do an Arbor Day proclamation. And it reads, City of Owatonna, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of our business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas Owatonna has been recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to continue its tree planting ways. Now, therefore, I, Thomas A. Kuntz, Mayor of the City of Owatonna, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2015 to be Arbor Day in the City of Owatonna, and I urge all citizens to support the efforts to care for our trees and woodlands and to support our city's community forestry program. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote the well-being of present and future generations. Dated this 21st day of April, 2015. And with that, as is custom, we plant a tree for each one of our retired employees for the year of 2014. And the Arbor Day tree planting, we will meet on the front steps of the administration building at 12:15 p.m. on April 24th. And the trees and planting are Mark Eric, Huckleberry, City Shop by Salt Shed, Bruce Francis, Swamp, White Oak, Mineral Springs Park, Kevin Sedovy, Red Maple, Chase Lake, D. Von Wald, Swamp, White Oak, Bexler Park, Mark Edel, Red Maple, West Hills, Tim Hassings, Sugar Maple, Bexler Park, and Raymond Schulson, Red Maple, J.C. Park.
Thank you. It should be noted that Raymond Toulson, although is not a city employee per se, he's an elected official. We are honoring him with tree planting this year also. So thank you with that. And moving on to finance report or financial report, and I'll ask Greg Schultz to give us a report.
Okay, total expenditures presented for approval tonight. Here's a recap of checks over $20,000. $21,592 to Owatonna floor covering, of which $16,924 was for carpet of the lower level library. That was a down payment. $1,616 for the engineer office carpet, $3,052 for the administrative hallway and city clerk's office carpet. $25,000 to Kelly Katzing for stormwater sewer easement, $25,000 to John Losey for stormwater easement, $27,382 to Tierney Brothers for LEC computer equipment, $87,422 to the League of Minnesota Cities Insurance Trust, it's the first installment of workers' compensation, $107,319 to the Southeast Service Cooperative, that is the April 2015 health insurance premiums, $180,866 to Universal Truck Equipment for 2 truck bodies and equipment for the street department. Other expenditures of $247,317 for total expenditures presented for approval tonight of $700,307.03.
Thank you, Greg. Any questions from the council? What is the council's wishes?
Motion to pay the bills.
We have a motion by Kevin Rainey to pay the bills. Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Second by Nate Dotson. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Moving down to the consent agenda items, which are license permit requests, meeting minutes, et cetera, all grouped into one motion. And what is the council's wishes on this?
To approve.
We have a motion by Nate to approve. Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Second by Dave Burbank. Any further discussion on any of those items? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Moving down to action items, we will start with 3.3.1, amend the Human Rights Commission bylaws, and this will go to Chris.
Thank you, Les. As you are aware, we met with Fred Ventura, the Vice Chair of our Human Rights Commission, and went over these changes in detail. The Human Rights Commission was doing a review and update of their bylaws, removing some items that no longer applied, and also updated to reflect their current practices. So staff would recommend approval. You do have the strikeout items on the actual bylaws in your packet. Staff would recommend approval.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions from the council? What is the council's wishes?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Greg Schultz to approve. Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Second by Jeff Okerberg. Any further discussion here? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving down to ordinances, 3.4.1, proposed ordinance 6-15, amend section 290 of the Human Rights Commission, and back to Chris.
Also, as a part of that review, the Human Rights Commission reviewed the ordinance regarding the powers and duties of the commission, and they're recommending an amendment to our ordinance that would remove the reference to the let's see, where is it here? A specific entity for collaboration efforts, as they don't want to, they would like to keep the ordinance broad, and because they collaborate with a number of organizations and they change over time, they felt this would be a good amendment. Also, removal of the no-fault grievance procedures. So, if a situation would occur that would require some mediation, the practice of the commission is to refer that to the State Human Rights Commission, as they have the ongoing training that is necessary for that type of action. So staff would recommend approval of the first reading.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions from the council?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Kevin Rainey to approve. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Brent Svenby. Any further discussion? Seeing none, ask for a roll call because if it's an ordinance.
Councilmember Rainey.
Aye.
Svenby.
Aye.
Dotson.
Aye.
Okerberg.
Aye.
Schultz.
Aye.
Burbank.
Aye.
Abraham.
Aye.
All 7 ayes.
This has been approved. To move on to the second reading, and with that, we will move on to the next one is 3.4.2, proposed ordinance 715, amend section 94-09, paving underground facilities, and this will go to Kyle.
Good evening. The first ordinance modification I'm requesting this evening is for 94-079 to include the sump pump service. Currently, the residence owns the sanitary sewer service and the water service to the main. The sump pump service, we have gone through a lot of areas of town, installed sump pump main and sump pump services for the properties, but the ownership of that was never clearly defined, and we would like that to be, for clarity reasons, the same as the sanitary sewer and water service, and recommend the proposed modification.
Thank you, Kyle. Questions from the council?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Nate Dotson to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Dave Burbank. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those, this is also an ordinance. We'll ask for a roll call.
Councilmember Rainey.
Aye.
Svenby.
Aye.
Dotson.
Aye.
Okaberg.
Aye.
Schultz.
Aye.
Burbank.
Aye.
Abraham.
Aye.
All 7 ayes.
This has been approved also. Moving down to proposed ordinance 8-15, amend section 94-06, old curb construction requirements. Back to Kyle.
In reviewing the ordinances, we noticed that the requirement for a contractor to work within our right-of-way was only a $100,000 liability policy. Staff believes that that should be updated to a $1 million liability policy, and I believe that's a fairly common minimum for liability policy. So it's just a housekeeping item, and we'd like to increase that to $1 million, and we recommend approval.
Thank you. Questions from the council?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Greg Schultz to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Nate Dotson. Any further discussion here? Seeing done, ask for a roll call on the ordinance.
Councilmember Rainey.
Aye.
Svenby.
Aye.
Dotson.
Aye.
Okaberg.
Aye.
Schultz.
Aye.
Burbank.
Aye.
Abraham.
Aye.
Again, all 7 ayes.
Thank you. These are all first readings, I believe, so we will have the second reading at our next meeting. Thank you. Moving down to Resolution 44-15, declare costs emergency repairs completed 442 West Bridge Street, and we're back to Kyle.
As many of you will recall, at 442 West Bridge Street this February, we had a water service that was leaking for quite a few weeks. It began to get worse and was causing a public nuisance. We attempted to contact the property owner. The property is in foreclosure proceedings. We weren't successful in getting them to fix it, so we ended up going in and repairing that water service. The cost was a maximum of $8,325. We would like to declare those costs and then set a date for the public hearing on May 19th. And staff recommends approval of both resolutions.
Thank you. Okay, we will start with Resolution 44-15. What is the council's wishes there?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Jeff Okaberg. No, Brent Svenby to approve. Do you have a second?
Second.
Now I'll take Jeff. Okay. Jeff Okaberg is a second. Any further discussion on 44-15? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved. Moving on to 45-15, which has been also reported on. What is the council's wishes?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Greg Schultz to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin Rainey. Any further discussion there? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This has been approved also. Moving down to miscellaneous, we are done there. Public comment. Anyone wishes to speak on any item not on the agenda, please come forward and I would have you sign in and speak for 2 minutes.
Hi, Leanne Alt, 1130 North Elm Avenue. I just want to bring this to the council's attention about the littering issue that we're having here in Owatonna. Yesterday, my husband spent over 2 hours down at the bottom of Elm Street Hill cleaning up trash that had been tossed over the sides of the bridge that goes over Maple Creek. He got 2 large garbage bags full of pop cans, pop bottles, beer cans, alcoholic beverage bottles, and probably the most disgusting thing was 20 small plastic bags of kitty litter. Used kitty litter kind of thing. So evidently what people have been doing, and I suppose maybe this happens on other bridge bridge overpasses here in the city is people are driving along and they're just willy-nilly tossing their own garbage out the window. So I want to bring it to your attention. I think maybe it's maybe a community conversation that maybe should be started on how do we keep Owatonna trash-free, kind of thing. Anyway, it's and I know it's springtime and there's an accumulation of trash that does occur, but I'm sure it's occurring in other places in Owatonna, and I think we need to make A, people aware of it, B, don't be afraid to clean it up yourself, and C, what should a citizen do if they see someone else in town littering or dumping trash in places where they shouldn't be? I know I walk quite frequently in St. John Cemetery, and someone has dumped a bunch of furniture off in the woods behind their shed. It's, you know, just kind of as an FYI that these kinds of things are going on, and what can we do as a city to curb it? Thank you.
Thank you, Leanne. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move on to council comment, and I will start with Kevin.
Yeah, Leanne, thanks for bringing that up. I'm seeing a lot of garbage this spring as well. One question I've got is, the last 2 days we've had extremely high winds, and I've seen a lot of recycling bins being blown over, and that's been strewn about. We do not have anything in regards to pickups when it's extremely windy conditions like that?
I don't believe we do, no.
Everyone please, pick up, even if it's not your garbage, please pick it up. I want to thank the organizers and the citizens of Owatonna for last weekend of giving. Incredible turnout at all the events. And then remind people that coming up in May, the first weekend, we've got the From the Heart, and it's a wonderful event that helps families that are going through tough times. And then also Corky's Early Bird. That tournament does create revenue for our scholarship fund in Park and Rec, so please support that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Brent.
Just want to remind people of another fundraiser this weekend for the Still County Healthy Seniors. It's their Dancing with the Stars this coming Saturday night at Medford. And then the doors open at 6 and the dancing starts at 7.
Thank you, Brent. Nate.
I am going to wish my wife a happy anniversary, which is today. It is 8 years. So send my wife your condolences for having to put up with me that long. And I'm not dying, so she's probably got a lot more time left to deal with me.
And what's your wife's name?
Joan.
Joan? Yeah. Our sympathies, Joan.
She'll appreciate that.
Jeff.
I again would like to thank the community for showing up this last weekend. It was a great turnout. Wasn't able to attend all events, but the ones that I did were very well turned out, and thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Greg.
I have nothing to add to that.
Dave.
I think people have noticed the traffic cones and barrels being placed out, so we've entered road construction season. Please be careful when driving. It's a full-time job. Do not text when you drive. That's all I have.
Thank you, Dave. Mayor Tom.
April and May are the months that I start looking for people to serve on several of the boards that report and help the city council out. And so if anybody is interested in serving on the Airport Commission, Building Code of Appeals, Fire Code Board of Appeals, Fire Civil Service Board, Owatonna Public Library Board, or the Shade Tree Commission, please get a hold of me.
Thank you, Tom. Chris.
Well, I have a few announcements as well. We are having I think it's our second annual Bark and Rec. It's free for our furry friends and their families. This will be Saturday, April 25th from 9 to 1. Treats, groomers, vets, demonstrations, other doggy stuff under one woof. Get it? Okay, it's kind of funny. Okay. Yeah, thank you. All right, Munchkin Market will also be on Saturday, April 25th from 1 to 4 at the Four Seasons. That's where the youth have tables. They can sell their used toys and games and books and things. Other adult vendors will be there as well. And there will be entertainment throughout. Jill Hoygaard Academy of Dance, Camp Pillsbury, Tadpole Parade Band, fingerprinting is also available. through the Owatonna Exchange Club booth. And there is a fundraiser for From the Heart. It's a spaghetti supper and silent auction on May 1st from 4:30 to 8 at the Owatonna Junior High. Advance tickets are $7 and at the door are $8. And then a reminder about Retrofit Companies having a recycling collection on Saturday, May 16th from 9 to 1. And they offer very reasonable rates to recycle everything from lamps to batteries to computers and TVs. So that's all I had.
Thank you, Chris. And again, thank this community for all the work they did, all the contributing that they did this weekend. It was a fantastic weekend for a lot of different things. I did mention to Chris that I received an email from a Kevin Knowles, who was a council member from Martinsburg, West Virginia, that happened to be in town for some training, and asked if he could see the city. And he was very impressed with our city. He was, I was very pleased with his approach to it, and what he does compared to our city, and how much he liked the city, to the point where he would like to come back here this summer and spend some time. With that, look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A motion by Kevin Rainey to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Nate Dodson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.